5 rat rod planes you can fix with duct tape and luck. Before we begin, let me be very clear. This video is not about unsafe flying. It's not about cutting corners. And it's definitely not about literally fixing airplanes with duct tape. This is about attitude, about simple airplanes, honest airplanes, machines that don't pretend to be something they're not. The kind of airplanes that still fly because someone cared just enough and didn't overcomplicate things. If you're a beginner, if you're a senior pilot, if you're looking at ownership and wondering, do I really need glass panels, subscriptions, and a second mortgage? This video is for you. Stay with me. There's a term in the car world, rat rod. Not pretty, not polished, but alive. Rough edges, scratches with stories, engines that start every morning because someone understands them. Aviation has rat rods too. And today, we're talking about 5 airplanes that earned that reputation, fairly or unfairly, and why so many of them are still flying decades later. And as we go through them, I want you to think, would you rather fly something perfect or something you truly understand? Tell me your answer in the comments as we go. Number 1, the Piper Cub. Let's start where aviation simplicity peaked. The chopped Piper Cub, J3. No electrical system, no starter on many models, no illusions, just fabric, tubes, wires, and air. This airplane doesn't hide problems. If something's wrong, you'll feel it, hear it, smell it. That's why Cubs survive neglect better than almost anything else. They forgive inactivity. They tolerate field repairs. They don't demand constant upgrades. Many Cubs flying today have outlived multiple owners. Why? Because they're simple enough that people don't panic when something breaks. They fix it. And here's the question. Is aviation better when it's less intimidating? Leave your thoughts below. Number 2, Cessna 150. If the Cub is poetry, the Cessna 150 is a screwdriver. Unromantic, unapologetic, unkillable. This airplane trained generations of pilots and then kept flying. Slow? Yes. Loud? Sometimes. Graceful? Rarely. But here's the secret. Almost every mechanic on Earth understands a 150. Parts are everywhere. Systems are basic. Problems are predictable. This is the kind of airplane that survives because it doesn't overwhelm its owners. You don't fear maintaining it. You engage with it. And for new owners, especially later in life, that confidence matters more than speed. Ask yourself, would you rather fly 120 knots in peace or 180 knots in anxiety? Tell me honestly. Number 3, Piper Cherokee 140. Now we step into something a little heavier. Piper Cherokee 140, 160 horsepower. This airplane doesn't win beauty contests. It doesn't inspire ramp envy, but it does something far more important. It keeps showing up. Fixed gear, simple systems, wide, forgiving flight envelope. Cherokees became rat rods, not because they're bad, but because they're everywhere. They were flown hard, parked outside, maintained just enough, and they kept flying. This is the airplane that teaches ownership lessons quickly. You learn what matters, you learn what doesn't, and you stop chasing perfection. Now let me ask you, do you think modern aviation has become too precious? Write your answer. I read every comment. Number 4, Grumman AA-1. This one surprises people. The Grumman AA-1, metal wings, bonded construction, no fabric to rot. The AA-1 looks odd, feels different, flies honest, but demands respect. These airplanes were cheap for years. And cheap airplanes attract experimentation. Owners learned them deeply because they had to. No fancy systems to blame, no automation to hide behind. If it flew badly, it was usually the pilot. And that created a generation of mechanically literate owners. Many AA-1s today are flying not because they were pampered, but because someone understood them well enough to keep them alive. Think about that. Is complexity really progress or just distance from the machine? Number 5, Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner. Now let's talk about the sleeper. The Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner. Heavier controls, solid feel, almost overbuilt. This airplane feels like it was designed by engineers who didn't trust pilots, and that's a compliment. The Sundowner is forgiving, stable, and stubborn. It doesn't like abuse, but it tolerates age. Many of these aircraft have rough paint, dated interiors, and stories in every panel, yet they keep flying. Why? Because Beechcraft built them like tools, not toys. And owners who appreciate that tend to keep them going quietly for decades. Here's the question I want you to answer honestly. Would you trade ramp appeal for reliability? Let's talk about it. Now, a pause, because this video isn't really about these 5 airplanes. It's about mindset. Rat rod airplanes survive because their owners don't chase perfection. They chase function. They fly them. They fix them. They don't wait for ideal conditions, and that matters, especially for senior pilots and beginners. Let's contrast that for a moment. Look at aircraft like Diamond DA-50 RG, Pipistrel Panthera Epic E1000 GX, Cirrus SR-22, incredible machines. But they demand constant attention, money, and updates. Miss a beat, and they punish you. Rat rods forgive. They invite learning instead of outsourcing. And that's why so many people quietly fall in love with them. There's another uncomfortable truth. These airplanes often outlive their owners, financially, because they're easy to explain to heirs, easy to sell, easy to keep running. A scruffy Cherokee with logs and compression numbers sells faster than a pristine airplane nobody understands. That's not nostalgia, that's reality. Let me ask you something personal. If you stopped flying tomorrow, would your airplane intimidate your family or make sense to them? Think about that. And if this video sparked something, say so in the comments. Aviation culture often celebrates the new, the fast, the expensive. But the heartbeat of general aviation? It lives in airplanes like these. The ones that don't care about trends. The ones that still fly because someone cared enough and didn't overthink it. So here's the takeaway. You don't need perfection to fly safely. You don't need complexity to enjoy aviation. And you don't need the newest airplane to have the best stories. Sometimes all you need is a simple machine, a clear head, and just enough luck. Thanks for spending this time with me. If you've flown or owned one of these rat rod airplanes, share your experience below. And if you disagree with this list, even better. Let's keep the conversation going.